Oh, it's been so long, so long. I am just coming on real quick to say hi. As usual, I'm working. But I just had to come on because, already it's early in the morning, and it's not a beautiful morning, but it is God's morning, so it's a great morning, right? Amen. I am on my way picking up a trip, and I just picked somebody up, and I'm seeing them talking to the police, and I'm just like, come on, man, please don't be coming in here. And I mean, he wasn't talking, he was yelling, he was upset, and I'm like, so I start praying immediately, right? And so as I'm praying, he starts walking to the car, and I said, okay, he's coming. So so from there, I was just like, all right, so this is going to be a good trip. Like, I'm declaring it, He gets in, he's like, good morning. He's like, I'm having a bad morning, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And I said, verify the trip and whatnot. And he's like, can you do me a favor? He's like, because these people, they just carded me. And then I said, carded you? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, well, you don't know 21. You don't know 19 or nothing like that. He's like, that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, all right. So he's like, well, can you take me up to this beer distributor? Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, like, it's only 7:45. Get ready to be 8 o'clock. But I was wrong. It was 8:08. So I'm like, beer distributor open this early in the morning? Sure enough, get there. It's open. So we get there. He goes in and get his beer. He's like, see, no problem at all. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, can I ask you a question? I'm like, yeah. You got a man? I said, yes. And he's like, alright. Well, you allowed to have friends? I said, no, I ain't doing that. He's like, alright. He's like, so, my girl, she just wrecked the car, blah, blah, blah. So I'm thinking in my head, like, did you just... Alright, so he goes, yeah, my girl, she just wrecked the car. He's like, every day this year I've been having a bad day. And I'm like, Dad, you remember this day? You know what I mean? So he's like, yeah. He was like, I'm a twin. He's like, my twin was killed. And I was like, oh. I was like, I'm sorry to hear that. So then we go into talking, and I was like, well, he's like, so I thank you for being cheerful and happy. He's like, you put me in a different mood. And I was like, I'm glad to see I could do that. And so then we still talking. I said, well, we don't want to see our loved ones go because it's sad to us, and that's a selfish thing because we don't want to see our loved ones go. I said, but in all actuality, if they're supposed to be going with God, that's supposed to be a good thing, right? And he was like, yeah, you're right. I said, because it is supposed to be a homegoing celebration. You're supposed to celebrate them going to see the Father. So with that mindset, even though it's hard for us to see our loved ones go, we got to know and be happy that they're going to be in a better place. Especially if they're in pain, whatever that pain may look like, however that manifests itself. I said, so change your feelings and trying to change your mindset about this day. I said, now mind you, today's a gloomy day. I said, but think positively about your brother going home to see the Father. Then he goes, well, do you ever think that God's taking all the good ones and we're the ones that's still here is going to be left here? And I said, you know what? I used to think about that too. But my thought on that is that it's just not my time. God still has stuff that he wants me to do. that there's people that I still need to minister to and that I still need ministered to. However that may manifest or however that may come about, my work is still not done here on earth. And so he's not ready for me yet. He was like, you were so right. And so when he came into the car, he was mad and upset. And he was, you know, a little bit agitated, but he left out the car with a smile on his face. So you never know who you're going to encounter, how you're going to encounter these people, and your words or interaction could make or break somebody's day. So always, and it could also be a blessing for you too. You know, every interaction is not just about somebody else. Sometimes it's your own blessing. Sometimes it's your own mental healing that you may need for yourself. You never know. So I encourage you to try and be a blessing to someone else, and in return, you may even get your own blessing for that particular moment, for whatever you were struggling with. So thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day. Be a blessing to someone else, and have a good one.